Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. In fact, we should probably be at 500,000 already. So with your help, hit the subscribe button and share with friends because there's so much going on. And this is the place where you need to get the info. I want to talk to you now about Kash Patel. I mean, just imagine, Kash Patel may be a part of QAnon. So I want to discuss Kash Patel, who's Trump's pick for FBI director. Now, I first want to show you his character. And here's a clip of him showing his connection to QAnon. You can't make this stuff up. The guy is the nominee for the FBI and may be part of QAnon. Play the clip.
Patel has dipped his toe into this QAnon world a bit over the years, has flirted with it.
On Truth Social, there's a Q account. Whether or not it's the real Q, I'm not going to get into.
Are you a QAnon?
No. So, like everything else, you have to have fun with it. The Q thing is a movement. A lot of people attach themselves to it. I disagree with a lot of what that movement says, but I agree with what a lot of that movement says.
The QAnon movement has long been associated with radicalization and hate, and QAnon iconography was seen throughout the January 6th mob.
Is that Donnie O'Sullivan?
Q has posted how many times?
4,967 times.
Q posted about Kash Patel
Yes, twice.
and said,
Kashyap Patel, a name to remember.
Q has been so right on so many things. I'll get off that subject.
No, he has, and I agree with you. He has. He has, and you got to harness that following that Q has garnered, and just sort of tweak it a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if he's full QAnon, partial QAnon, but even partial QAnon for a man who could potentially be the next director of the FBI. I see it as a major danger. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. Well, depending upon who you ask. Now, the interesting thing is that Republicans are mostly happy with Patel's nomination. Here's what Lindsey Graham had to say about Kash Patel's comments about cleaning out the FBI. Play that clip.
Kash Patel, counterterrorism prosecutor, understands the government, and if the FBI doesn't need to be cleaned out, what does? So, yeah, he'll make it out of committee. I don't know if he'll get any Democrats, but I think he'll get all Republicans. I'm a big fan of his choice to be FBI director.
I mean, I love the fact that they go to Lindsey Graham because you already know what the answer is. Lindsey, let me ask you a question. What do you think about Hannibal Lecter as, let's say, Secretary of the Food and Drug Administration? Right? I think if Donald Trump nominated Hannibal Lecter, Lindsey Graham would turn around and say the same thing, that he'll get out of, committee with every Republican. I don't think he'll get any Democrats, but yeah, I like him. I think that he's a phenomenal individual. It's the same story. If Donald Trump, how could you, just because you are in Trump's camp, doesn't mean that every single thing that a person says, you should be agreeing with. In fact, Ed Koch, and I've said this so many times on so many of my different shows, Ed Koch, the famous New York City mayor, once said, if you agree with me 6 out of 12 times, you should vote for me. If you agree with me 12 out of 12 times, you should see a psychiatrist. And that's the thing. Lindsey Graham needs to see a psychiatrist. Every single thing that Donald Trump says today, Lindsey Graham does not have to agree with. It's ridiculous. Now, then you have Scott Jennings. This is another Trump acolyte, sycophant who goes on all the time. He's on CNN regularly defending the Republican side. And I give him credit for going into hostile or semi-hostile territory, but sometimes the stupidity that emanates from that gaping hole underneath his nose is just pure nonsense. Let me show you an example. He turns around and he says that the FBI needs total restoration. Play the clip.
I have to go to the table and answer questions just like everybody else, but there's enthusiasm for him. 10 years ago, the FBI had a 59% approval rating. Today, it's like 41%. There's a lot of restoration work that needs to be done to restore public confidence in this agency. It probably does need a change agent, an outside change agent, and the Republicans right now, they like this nomination. There's a long way to go, but they like it right now.
This is kind of like how, you tell everybody that elections are rigged, and then when confidence in elections go down, we're like, everybody, we need to change elections.
Are you saying the FBI hasn't made any mistakes?
I'm just saying, when you spend years and years telling everybody the FBI is corrupt, they're going to.
Well, no, they have admitted to some corruption. There have been internal reports where they have admitted there have been FBI agents that themselves have gotten criminally in trouble.
I actually think that's exactly
made mistakes.
the correct point, which is that the FBI has a process for going over their own misdeeds, and they did it multiple times in the case of the accusations that Trump has made about the agency, including in the John Durham report, which was heralded by Republicans. That was an attempt to look at all of these things, and he found problems. That's called a process.
But that's why there's a process.
I mean, what a great comeback by Abby Phillip, because it's factually accurate. Accuracy, truth matters. And what's truthful about it? Donald Trump, look, let's be clear. The plurality of Americans are on Donald Trump's side, whether it's 50.8 or 50.6, whatever the number might be. It's how he won the election. When somebody continuously says that the FBI is corrupt again and again and again, year after year after year, of course, the confidence level in them is going to go down. And everybody has been watching and hearing the same exact story over and over and over again. But then you look at this, for example, Scott Jennings' expression onto it. Are you trying to say that the FBI doesn't make mistakes? No, everybody makes mistakes. There's nothing in this world that's perfect. Zero. Nothing. The FBI also, they make mistakes. But as Abby Phillip turned around and said, there is methods for them within which to correct their own problems. Putting in somebody who wants to tear it down. In fact, interestingly enough, 25% of our budget is the only thing that they can actually touch in order to knock off this alleged $2 trillion from our annual budget. And one thing that they want to knock off is the FBI in its entirety. Could you imagine the United States not having an FBI in order to do the investigations that they need to do to keep us all safe? This is beyond stupid. Now, earlier this week, don't step away from this because we have to embrace this. This is out of control. Earlier this week, Patel sends a letter to Olivia Troy. She used to work at the Trump administration. Sends it to Olivia Troy's legal counsel based on her comments that she made while a guest on MSNBC. And I say that we need to discuss this because my channel right here, my YouTube channel, my affiliation with the MeidasTouch Network on my Mea Culpa podcast or our political beatdown, we say things. Are we at risk too? I want to show you a post. Here's Olivia's post that she put up today. Kash Patel sent a letter to my counsel, Mark Zaid. By the way, he happens to be my lawyer too, threatening legal action and demanding that I retract my comments on MSNBC about his unfitness to serve as FBI director. This aligns with his threats against the media and political opponents, revealing how he might conduct himself. Let me be very clear. This is not threats about how he might conduct himself. This is factually accurate that this is how he will conduct himself. They don't want any negativity. It's almost like they are demanding state-run television like they have in Russia, that state-run called Pravda, which in Russian means truth. And here's a letter that was then sent by Banal Law Group to them, stating this retraction demand and document hold and preservation demand. Dear Ms. Troy, this law firm represents Kash Patel. Litigation will be filed against you if you fail to publicly retract defamatory statements you made about Mr. Patel on MSNBC on December 2nd, 2024. Be further advised that you should identify and preserve all hard copy and electronically stored documents, information, and data that relate in any way to Mr. Patel and to your statements about him on MSNBC. He goes on to turn on December 2nd, 2024, you appeared as a live guest on MSNBC and you made several false and defamatory statements about Mr. Patel. These comments include that Mr. Patel would, and in quotes, lie about intelligence and would, in quotes, lie about making things up on operations to the point when Mr. Patel, again, quotes, put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk when it came to Nigeria. And that Mr. Patel was even misinforming Vice President Mike Pence. This is a complete fabrication, and you know it is false by virtue of your former position in the White House. At no point did Mr. Patel ever lie about national intelligence, place Navy SEALs at risk, or misinform the Vice President. Not only did you have actual knowledge of the falsity of the smear, but you also did so with malicious intent of degrading his character and of cynical self-promotion. This is, of course, not the first time you have milked your former title as a means of spreading lies and associates of President Donald J. Trump. You are already embroiled in a lawsuit for your disgusting lies about Ambassador Rick Grinnell on Twitter. Mr. Patel demands that you retract your lies in a public statement on your X account within 5 business days of receipt of this letter. Unless this step is taken, Mr. Patel will take swift legal action to uphold his rights and his reputation. And this is from Jesse R. Banal from the Banal Law Group based out of Virginia. Why is this all important? It's important because it's already showing you where things are going to go. If you say something that they don't like, whether or not you end up winning or losing, you will lose. You will lose because financially, it's exhausting and it is financially enormous. I know I have lost millions defending inactions. In fact, you may remember there was a $500 million lawsuit that was brought against me by Trump in the Southern District of Florida, Miami. Now, while that case went nowhere and Trump ultimately dismissed the case, it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars within which to defend. Thanks to many of you who actually helped with the GoFundMe, the legal GoFundMe, I was able to offset some of it. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. And you could absolutely bankrupt somebody, destroy them financially by protecting their First Amendment constitutional right. This is out of control. And again, it's the nominees that we have to be worried about more than even Donald Trump. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.